All right, Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. movies and shows, and I want to talk about a movie that I watched. People have been telling me to watch this movie for a while now. It's been out for a minute, depending on when you guys are watching this. Maybe you guys are watching this way down the line, and it's been out for a long time. Nonetheless, um, I jumped on a plane. I had to fly out somewhere, and I ended up watching this movie on the flight. Like I said, people have mentioned this movie to me quite a few times, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm on this flight. I've been wanting to watch this movie, but I always forget. Whenever I had free time, I would always forget about this movie. So let me go ahead and let me read the description, and then I'm gonna tell you guys what I thought about the movie. Okay, so in the 1970s, Greg Laurie and a sea of young people descend on sunny Southern California to redefine truth through all means of liberation. Now, let me break from that real quick. This movie did take place in Southern California, and I never heard of this ever. I'm from SoCal, I mean, born and raised, man. I've never heard of this. All right, so let me continue. Inadvertently, Laurie meets a charismatic street preacher. By the way, the street preacher is the guy that looks like Jesus on here. Charismatic street preacher and a pastor who opened the doors to a church to a stream of wandering youth. What unfolds is a counterculture movement that becomes the greatest spiritual awakening in American history. Wow. Look, Holmes, the reason why I'm wild about this is I've never heard about this movement. I get it. It was before my time. Okay. I was born in 1981. It was before my time. I understand that. But there's no mention, at least, through my experience and growing up in SoCal, born and raised, not too, it's not like I was way off somewhere, man, where this took place or anything. But I the fact that I never ever heard about this, I never heard about the big, revolution, man, the awakening, the spiritual awakening of Jesus. Never once have I heard of it. I've gone to church for many, many years, man. I've never heard a pastor bring it up. Maybe, look, is it possible that a pastor brought it up and it just went over my head? Yeah, maybe so. By the way, just to let you know, I used to attend Calvary Chapel where the pastor was Raul Reese. Once upon a time, I would go to that church. Never ever have I heard of this revolution, man, this spiritual awakening. But let me tell you guys about the movie. Okay, so it's based on a true story, whatever energy you guys want to put into that or not. I know when people hear, hey, it's based on a true story, some people get turned off. It's like, yeah, but it really happened like that. I mean, I understand in certain movies they have to, you know, embellish and do all kinds of stuff, man, because it's a movie. I don't think they really have to do much here because it's not, you don't really have to do too much to make it just a good story. Like, for example, the movie Cocaine Bear, it's based on true events. Well, no, not really. Cocaine Bear is just a bear that overdosed on cocaine. That was it. It didn't go out on some killing spree or anything like that. They just found the bear dead that OD'd. So, so in that movie, they had to throw a lot of fiction all over it. Here, I mean, I'm not really sure how much fiction they really need to throw into it. But anyway, man, so just like I said in the description, you got Kelsey Grammer's character. He's a preacher. It's around the time where, the hippie movement is around, all the hippies and everything. They're out, they're doing drugs, they're getting high, all that stuff, right? So you got all the elders that are looking at the hippies like, I don't get it. I don't get them. what's wrong with them. You know, they're anti this, they're anti tradition, they're anti American, they're anti family, they're anti work, they're anti just everything from traditional family values for the most part. Um, but crazy enough, he comes to find out, just like I said, just like it said in the description, that there's actually a good handful of them that are real Jesus freaks, you know, that are really true believers in Christ. And he gets blown away because, you know, he's one that wears a suit and tie, and you know, is very conservative with his church and preaching. And you know, he's got a church of people that go there and they're expecting something. They're expecting a certain type of attitude, right? A certain type of respect. You know, they're not expecting for these hippie looking dudes or hippie looking people, because chicks are going too, to go into church and start, you know, hitting their drums and playing their banjo and you know, praising the Lord. They get turned off by that. But I mean, that's what pretty much happens here. And it turns in to just this huge, man, um Jesus freak revolution. And you know, you got two kids here, I mean, two young people, I should say, I guess, that they just met each other, right? They're the main characters, and you know, they're kind of falling in love with each other. But at first, you know, he's trying to get out of the academy that his parents have him going to. He wants to live life a little bit more on the edge. He meets this chick, which is the blonde girl that you guys see on here. And she's hanging out with the wrong crowd, with the hippie crowd. They're doing drugs, getting high, doing all the things that people think of, for the most part, I guess I would say, generally speaking, that hippies do, you know, get high and all that stuff, you know, far out, man, you know, just all that stuff, until she witnesses her sister. Well, I don't want to blow that. Um, I don't want to blow that, man, if you guys haven't seen the movie. But nonetheless, she has a moment and she's like, you know what? I want to change my life, man. And this is where, you know, it gets them, it captivates them, man. It captivates them, I should say. And this movement, I mean, it went across the country. That which is a little bit odd, that I've never heard anybody mention this. I mean, if we're talking history, why wouldn't any of this be mentioned? Now, what I do like in this movie, that it does show, you know, the two top dogs bumping heads. The you know, Kelsey Grammer that you see on here with his suit, with his right hand up to his mouth, and the Jesus looking guy. To be honest with you guys, when I first saw the poster, I thought that guy was actually Jesus, and probably somebody was hallucinating, saying that they see Jesus, or you know, they would picture Jesus like that and had a relationship with Jesus in that manner. But no, he's not Jesus in the movie. He's just a dude. He's one of those hippie guys, man. And I do like that they actually bump heads. Now, why do I like that? Well, just because it makes it real. You got two people trying to come together, trying to build something, and it seems like one person is making it more about them, or they're letting like the power get to them. And yeah, they start bumping heads, man. It just makes it feel more authentic, more real, when something like that, when I saw that happen in the movie, and I could really appreciate that. So look, this movie, I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. I liked the story. Again, based on a true story. How much of a true story is it really? I don't know. I can't really tell you guys, man. But um, I will say, man, I find it just a little bit odd that nobody, at least for me, maybe somebody grew up in SoCal and they know all about this story. They probably cannot get away about this story, man. They've probably been hearing this story since they were a little kid. But I'm just saying, for me, Holmes, I've never ever heard of this Jesus revolution that went across the country back in the 70s. Never once heard of it. But you know, the cool thing about it is that my sons, they have a little bit of a connection to this church, and they actually got baptized not too long ago, where they actually do the baptisms in the movie, where I guess apparently they still hold baptisms there. And I could vouch for that because my two sons got baptized right there. So, would I give this movie? Look, I give it a pretty damn good rating. I don't really do number ones to tens but I will say, man, two thumbs up. I like it. You don't have to be a believer to enjoy the movie. It's just a good story and good movie. If you just want to see a good story, whether you believe it or not, that's up to you, man. Um, I believe it. I'm a little bit just blown away that I just never heard of it, never heard of this. But I liked it, man. Good story, good movie. Jesus Revolution, man. You guys check it out if you haven't checked it out. Cholo Trucker, M.A.S. Movies and Shows.